Alright, let's go. Nope. Nope. Oh, what do you have? Nope. Flux rifle. That's what happens. I got really lucky with the Sobek, and now I'm gonna go through the entire Tenet roster before I get the Glaxion. What do you have? Detron. Show me. And it's Tetra. Nope. Plinks. Nope. I am finishing the missions, by the way, so I can't get the same weapon twice. It has to cycle to the next one. Hey, there it is! Finally! There we go. Tenet Glaxion. Nice. That is a weird name. Oof, 28%. Not great. Come on. No! It would have been so good if I guessed the whole sequence on the first try. But it doesn't matter because I have an Ulmod and I have an ultimatum, so we're pretty much done. Sit down, bitch. And there it is. Probably the fastest sister or lich that I have ever done. Our dry dock looks so good. Look at it. Ridiculous. Anarchy and his vandals did such a good job with this. I didn't even realize that she had an ephemera. Oh ho ho, come to daddy. Not as big of a stat upgrade as the Kuva Sobek, true, but it chains, which more than makes up for it. Yo, that looks sick with my Naros' colors. Look at it, that is a sick looking gun. Time for a potato, and let's get an adapter as well. Maybe deadhead as well, because of the slowing effect and all that. Maybe. Let's get some multi-shot, a bit of status, some condition overload. What next? How much crit are we gonna get? 60%, that's decent enough. Maybe. Maybe. Again, headshots are gonna be pretty easy with this, but for now let's just try crit delay. Let's get on Vital Sense. There we go, bit of corrosive. This is why I wanted a code-based Glaxion, because I don't have to put on code mods and I have a decent amount of code damage. So we basically have our element sorted out with just 2 mods, which is lovely. Let's stable Harold for a brief moment. So, well, first of all, damage is grand, strips armor really well, it's awesome, but the first thing that popped into my mind is how clean this is. Like, if you have a weaker PC that can't handle a lot of particles, this would be a great weapon to pick up. Also, yes, it is incredibly easy to headshot with this. Well, let's go max it out and start putting on some Forma. Well, since someone gave me an affinity blessing before I made it to the statue, let's do, I guess a resource blessing. Sure, why not? There we go. Alrighty then, let's put a V right there. I am feeling hammer shot in my bones. Crit multi, status chance, oh, big status, big crit multi. Also, as I started playing around with the weapon in normal missions, I noticed that I tend to go for body shots a lot more than headshots. So I don't know if I want to go for deadhead or scope yet. 32 ranks in 5 waves. Tremendous. There we go. Another formage. Lovely. We actually have quite a few options here. One option would be radiated reload for some radiation damage and reload speed. I also want to try Hunter Munitions at some point. We could go with Combustion Beam, especially if you're running this on Siren. This would be great. It would basically be like Amprex with Combustion Beam. That'd be good too. I forgot to record the ding. Let's actually start off with Vigilante Fervor, because more fire rate is more dupas, but we also get the set bonus, which could be very nice. I think we should max it out at this point. That's feeling mighty fine. It is draining ammo a lot faster, which is not great. And I'm seeing the occasional orange crit as well. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Another option would actually be armaments, just for the multi-shot, and we retain the crit bonus. No. It feels kind of sporadic. I don't know why. Why would it feel sporadic? That makes no sense. That would be a no from me, dog. Next on the menu, we have Radiated Reload for a bit more damage. Yeah, this is, It's like the radiation kind of gets in the way, so the armor strip is a little bit slower. Not by much. I expected this to do more than it does. Actually, let's try double crit, because why not? This feels considerably better than expected. Question is though, does it just feel better in the simulacrum, or is it gonna feel good in a normal mission as well? Because as I mentioned already, I'm far more likely to go for headshots in the simulacrum. The cold is doing a number on Corpus shields, which is great. I actually like this. This is very nice. The reason I'm always so hesitant with scope is because, like, there's a difference between wanting to aim down sights and having to aim down sights. I aim down sights with most weapons, but I don't like to have to aim down sights at all times, if that makes any sense. Yeah, there's a reason why people like this gun. Okay, I'll allow it. It's not tremendous, but it's not bad. Alright, so this is very good. I like this, but I want to try Hunter munition setup as well. I don't think I will like it as much as this. I generally prefer upfront damage setups, but I do want to try Hunter munitions as well. Something like this, maybe? The damage is actually very good, but it needs more crit because it's very unreliable. Let's take out Hammer Shot. There we go, crit delay, that should be much better. Oh yeah, that's the stuff, that's the stuff. I would actually recommend this over the other build if, yeah, look at that slash proc, that's juicy. I would actually recommend this over the other build if you don't have emeralds. Speaking of emeralds, this is still very good, however, gunners are weak to corrosive damage, so let's try this with napalms as well. That is significantly worse. So yeah, if you don't have emerald shards, definitely go with the Hunter munitions build, but if you either have an emerald Taufort shard or you have 2 normal emeralds, you can go for the corrosive one as well. So in the end, we ended up with 2 builds, and I actually like both of them. If you have emerald shards for more maximum corrosive proc, so you can strip the enemies completely with no faff and nonsense, I would highly recommend you try out this build, which runs primary merciless for damage and reload speed, galvanized chamber for multi-shot, galvanized aptitude for status chance and condition overload, galvanized scope and crit delay for crit chance, vital sense with hammer shot for a ton of crit damage and some extra status chance, and then malignant force and high voltage for corrosive. But if you don't have Emerald Archon charts or you prefer damage over time, I would highly recommend you try out this build as well. It's very similar to the first one, it also runs primary merciless, the 3 galvanized mods, crit delay and vital sense, but it drops hammer shot in favor of hunter munitions, and instead of running corrosive we have a bane mod and then malignant force, which combines with the innate code for vital. There's a reason why people like this gun. The original Glaxion as well as the Glaxion Vandal were already pretty fun, but they had no AoE, so making it chain is an absolutely tremendous addition. It will also be a pretty solid utility weapon once we get our hands on the Photon Overcharge augment. This gives you a solid amount of crit damage, but it also gives enemies you kill or assist in killing a chance to drop energy orbs depending on how many cold procs are on them. So overall, tremendous, strong, and fun. I highly recommend it. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.